And we are live.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Weekend, the movie show that happens
After the weekend.
It's so brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And really, it's great that you're here. So, my name is Maria. I'm known as the Geeky Crochet. You can check it out there. I am with
Rick.
Rick.
I am Marthicky on Twitter and Getter.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about Getter.
Yes, we have Getter. I try to advertise on there.
Yeah, we got Getter also.
Well, we could tell them at the end, or we could tell them now. We have something else too that we've worked a little bit on.
I was gonna say we should do it at the end so that they can stay and we can build like the surprise, and then
what's it gonna be?
So they can, so you can.
Don't look under your chair till we tell you to. It's a surprise.
No, completely. And hello, Mrs. R2. This is so great.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Avery's here. Hi, Avery.
So I would like to say hello to little Spider-Man who's down there with Mrs. R2 watching.
Little Spider-Man, of course.
Hello, Avery. How are you?
So we have a very, very awesome, amazing, extraordinary, outstanding, jaw-dropping, mind-boggling, fantastic movie today. Oh, he's waving. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you here.
Lisa.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, and I promise for the next time I will have my we'll have our little brand logo thingy.
Oh, okay, cool. That'll be nice.
Our intro. This time we will have it. So the Dunadan is here. Oh, I'm so sorry you can't stay for long, but at least you can.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah. And I'm working on Aragon. Remember that. I'm working on both male and female characters right now. So you just wait.
That's right. I keep seeing glimpses of limbs on Twitter.
I'm working on the legs now. And Rayron is here.
Hello, Rayron. Thank you.
Oh, and with Rayron,
yeah,
we're gonna have another podcast coming along this Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time. That's where Rayron is. We are going to show off. I can only show off right now like the 2 collectibles that I have. But I can show you my broken crochet. It's split clean.
That you halt?
Yeah. I was working on, I think it was Sailor Moon. Yeah, I was working on Serenity or Arwen or Hikaru. I haven't decided yet who the female character that I'm crocheting is going to be. So I was working on her, and all of a sudden I feel like it's all bendy. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I look at it, nothing's coming on, and I turn it around and see a little crack. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I actually break this thing? And then, so I'm like, well, I can't work with broken crochet. So I went running to my local store where I buy my crochets, and I said, you got a metal one, like a really strong one in this number? It's like, yeah, but why? It's like, I broke it. Yeah.
You didn't go like, do you see these guns?
Don't make me go green. Don't make me go green. So I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, we do. I was like, okay, I'll buy the other one, and then I'll buy the metal one. So it's like, okay. So I purchased that, and then I came back. I kept working with the old one because it still wasn't broken. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, that was it. So, man.
You got titanium knitting needles, crocheting needles.
I need something stronger.
Yeah. Tungsten. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. So Rayron is it's all good. We're just gonna chat. We're gonna chat about Sailor Moon this time, obviously, because he has this massive. I keep saying it because I'm so blown away, almost like the neurotic. He has this like massive Sailor Moon collection. So
Neurotic has one?
No, neurotic. No, Rayron has.
Rayron does. I thought you were saying neurotic. I'm like, really? I'm like, I never would have guessed that. I barely know what Sailor Moon is too. So I think my wife probably does though. I'll have to ask her. Maybe she can comment if she knows what it is.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine like the neurotic having Sailor Moon.
I keep it in my other room. It's all Sailor Moon.
That would be. Oh my god, that would be mind blowing. But anyway, Lisa, I can't tell you how many bent knitting needles and crochet hooks I have. You know what? I feel better now, actually, to think that I'm not the only one who broke a crochet because the Dunadan sent me a message like on Twitter the other day. Is that like my mom crochets and knits and she never broke one. So what the heck did you do? And I'm like, I don't know. I just have so much strength. I don't know. I just got green.
I feel like Dunadan was the swear word you used when you broke it. Dunadan.
No, Dunadan, that was good. No. So anyway, yeah, that was so funny. But anyway, we're kind of just waiting a little bit, just a little bit
more people.
For a few more people to come in. Share, like, subscribe. Thanos that like
Please.
button. Subscribe to my channel for new content. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah, tiny needles and hooks and a tight gauge. Yeah, it happens. It does. I never thought it would, but it did. So definitely. You guys.
And one more question though, the new podcast that you're going to do with Rayron, how often will that one be? Is that going to be twice a month like this, or are you guys going to do that weekly?
It's going to be twice a month. Yeah, it's going to be twice a month for now. Like I said in my storytelling podcast on Thursday, this month is going to be insane for me.
You're a busy lady.
All of a sudden, I'm so popular. You know, I was never popular at school. I was the one who was bullied. I suffered major bullying in my school. It was terrible, terrible time. But anyway, builds character.
Sorry to hear that.
It happened a long time ago. And well, you know, kids sometimes can be jerks. Sometimes, not every time. But anyway, The thing is that I was never the cool kid. I was never the one who, I was a loner, basically. And all of a sudden, I am now one of the cool kids. It's like, oh my gosh, everybody's calling me.
Yeah, I just went to go look. So a month ago, I had more Twitter followers than you. You now have 214, and I'm just hovering at 160. You totally are gonna beat Dan. I'm getting to 600 though.
Oh. Yes, we're pushing our Twitter followers so that we can have that beautiful Twitter space.
Just so we can do Twitter spaces.
That's it. That's the reason we want 600 followers.
Yeah,
it's not the fact that we want to be famous. No.
Yeah, it's just the first time we go on there, we could just be like, "Oh, damn, this is so cool! Oh, I love Twitter spaces. It's the best."
And that's it.
That's it. That's all we want to do.
That's all we want to do. Yeah.
Let Dan know how great it is.
Dan, I'm sorry you can't stay for the whole thing because we do have a big surprise at the end of the show that is completely strategical, so that other people can we can tweak their curiosity. and then they can stay on until the end, because that's what everybody does. I mean, that's what like all the cool things
too. Like as soon as it ends, you're gonna go back and just edit the live stream. Just take that part out. If they missed it, they missed it. Exactly.
Yeah. Don't worry, Dunedin. I will personally write to you. I will personally write to you so that you know what we're gonna do. Yeah, because you're my friend. No, you are. You've really.
It'll be that DM
me.
from the cool kid.
Yes, I am now a cool kid. That's so awesome. I am a cool kid. Anyway,
I'm just a big
Lisa?
kid, so.
No, Rick, you're a cool kid also. And Lisa, that's a good idea, actually. Is it a crocheted David Bowie? No, it isn't. I'm sorry. It never occurred to me, but that would be a very good idea, you know? I don't know if I would have any legal hassle.
I don't think so.
Creating. Did you know? This is one little fact. Just before we get into the labyrinth. A couple months ago, I've been doing like some storytelling coaching for the past 4 years with a British storyteller, very well known in the circles, and he knows that I'm into crochet. I think I sent him a couple things as a thank you gift. So he sent me an article of a woman who crocheted a Bernie Sanders.
Same.
Yes, Bernie Sanders.
That's scary.
Okay, I know. And with a mask on and stuff like that.
Oh, there's like a little mittens thing where he was just.
No. He was just.
Oh no, not like that.
He was sitting there. No, he was just sitting there with his legs crossed, and arms crossed.
But he's kind of like crouching a little bit.
Yeah, and she put it up to auction, and she got so much money. I'm talking about like probably $10,000 for that crochet. And my coach is like, hey, you know what? You should do this. And I'm like, for $10,000, I don't know if I could do Bernie Sanders. With respect for anybody who does like him, I do not. And since this is my show, I can be vocal about it. But $10,000. I mean, she auctioned it, and then she gave the money, I think, to charity or something like that.
I would build a model of Joe Biden out of toothpicks and popsicle sticks for $10,000 if I knew I could get it.
By the way, this is not a political show. Okay, this is not Friday Night Tights. Okay, like the last Friday, it was burning. That thing was burning with Alex Jones. I couldn't stay on that much. There was so much ranting. But yeah, thank you so much, Dunedin.
They're making the frogs gay.
Alex Jones. Alex Jones was just on a rampage that day. He was on a rampage.
Oh yeah.
And Jeremy was like, "Yay! I love being on the show with him ranting all the time." And I'm like, "Okay."
Jeremy's just like, "Yes."
He was. It was so funny. It was funny hearing these guys, you know. And
every time I try to turn it on, the kid hears it in the background. He's like, "Dad, language." Like, yeah, you're right. I can't watch it. So let me put my earphones on.
Oh man, there's a huge warning for those of you who watch Friday Night Tights. I don't watch it that much either because it's way too like the cussing is.
It's boys club. That's what it is.
Yes, it's a boys club. It is. Okay, Dan's here. Dan.
Yay, Dan's here. Hello.
What's up?
We were talking about you earlier, so you got to go back and watch it.
Okay, so I think we're going to start now.
Okay.
Yeah? So we're presenting. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Here's my beautiful one that I have. We are going to be presenting today. What are we going to be presenting? Here it is. The Labyrinth. 1986 The Labyrinth with David Bowie.
Childhood classic.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Childhood classic. I think not only childhood, I think adulthood classic. I have my own.
That too.
I think this is not a child's movie. I think this is more of an adult's movie. Teens, adults. That's my opinion. Because there's so much that we can get from it. So
most of us though, we saw it though as a kid. That's our first intro into this. I mean, I don't know anybody who saw this as an adult outside of maybe my parents.
Okay. I think my parents also. So
yeah.
Should we put on the spoiler alert?
Sure.
Yeah? Everybody?
Yeah.
We're going to go into the movie?
If you haven't seen this 25-year-old movie by now, it's your fault if it gets spoiled.
Okay. So, full on. Okay, so we have the plot. We got little Sarah, who is living with her father, her stepmom, and her new baby brother Toby. Baby brother Toby, and she gets tired of her baby brother, as all teens do, and she wishes that her brother would be whisked away by the goblins, and the Goblin King, to be turned into a goblin forever. And then what happens? Her wish comes true, and then she realizes that she didn't actually mean it. And then she goes on a quest to find her little brother. And, well, spoilers, obviously, she manages it. But the whole story, the whole trauma between how she starts her quest and how she finishes is the beautiful character arc that in this story they were able to achieve, from childhood to maturity. So I think it's one of big classic. At the beginning of when they first launched the film, when they released it, it didn't have a big impact. It wasn't very well liked. But then afterwards, there was this huge cult that came on. So
yeah, this was definitely something that found its audience on home video.
Yes. And with time, because nowadays you think, and people say, we're going to watch The Labyrinth. Oh my gosh, that's such a classic. It's such a good movie. Back in the day, they didn't do that. Lisa, I would love to hear about you, because about your thoughts of this movie, because Lisa says, I was 40 when I saw it for the first time. So it's very different when you see it as a child than when you see it as an adult.
Yeah.
I think we should invite Dan.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yes, my son said he told me earlier he really loved Ludo a lot. Was his favorite character.
That's nice.
But yeah, as a kid, it's definitely not really looked at as being like, I don't have memories of it as a dark movie, and it, more so just being very whimsical, because it's Muppets. It's a Muppet movie. But watching it again as an adult now, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a far darker movie than I remember it. But still, I mean, I loved it all the same. I mean, it's a phenomenal film. And like you mentioned, this came out in 1986. This was a summer movie. It was released on June 27th. Does anybody want to guess what the budget of the movie was? Let's see in the chat.
How much money do you think they invested in this movie?
Yes.
Oh, David Bowie.
Let's see. You don't like it? How can Dan not like it?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Maybe we should have him on.
He should come on.
Huh.
This is your Ben Stiller revenge right here, I feel like.
Oh, man.
$1. Oh, that's weak, Lisa.
That's so
We'll give one.
sad.
Well, I mean, Jim Henson is talented, but
Yeah.
so
The
Dunadan said 50 million. Well, close. In today's money, it was close to that. So it had a budget of 25 million, which that was a lot of money then. You know, if you want to round up, that was $63.5 million in today's money.
Wow. So the Dunadan.
So yeah, that was. I mean, I call that a good guess. And that you know, to kind of know that, I mean, it definitely shows. But the box office for this film unfortunately did not reflect the budget. And if anybody wants to take a guess at how much it did at the box office.
Okay.
Let's see.
How much money did it? So you already know that it was 50 mil? Yeah, 25 million?
25 and 80s money.
Mm-hmm.
$1 million. Dan, well, that's
pinky to mouth.
It only made it was just shy of 14 million. And
14 million. Yep.
Yeah. And you know, at this time too, there were not necessarily movies released every week to kind of trying to knock the previous week off. So this opened up against Ruthless People and Running Scared. Prior to that, The Karate Kid came out. 2 weeks before that, Ferris Bueller came out, and so did Back to School. So it had a lot of competition too when it opened up. And a month before that, Big Trouble in Little China opened up, which was a similar movie. I don't think they knew how to market it, and that was probably its biggest failure. So, and then too, as we mentioned, Jim Henson directed this, and you know, it was his vision, this whole movie. So,
the story was written by Jim Henson and another person, and obviously directed by Jim. And if you guys look on YouTube, you can see clips of Jim explaining things of the movie that really do help when you watch it again. So I personally, I would watch it again, yes. Definitely with different eyes after what I've seen, like explaining like the back set of everything, the behind scenes. It just gives you a completely different vision. And he also explains, we're going to get to that a little later, but he does explain the idea behind the dance scene, which is the iconic scene of the whole movie. And you could see it in the previous poster that I put, where she is dressed in this beautiful princess gown, you know? And most people remember that movie because of that scene. You know? So he does explain like the whole idea behind it. He does explain the mood, the transition between childhood and adulthood in that part. So that was really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to watch that, but now I want to watch that after watching this movie again. And just, you know, the impressiveness of it is just all, you know, for the most part, it's all practical. I mean, there are some special effects where they do some green screening, things like that. There is CGI in this movie. The opening with the owl, that was actually one of the first, if not the very first time that they did a photorealistic character on film. I mean, you know, if you look at the time, I mean, it's, you know, now it's, you can tell it's something that's animated, but it's very impressive for its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the practical effects and the costumes are just so good in this movie.
And
Yeah.
the Flight of the Navigator was on that was around that time. I think it came out like it's the
Same
same
year.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got the CGI from that,
Yeah.
and the CGI from this movie, which was also was really impressive. You know? The first animal.
Yeah. So yeah, photorealistic animal, and then the big thing with Flight of the Navigator was it was the first time mirroring
Mm-hmm.
something in CGI where you get to see the reflection of the terrain on the ship as it goes
Mm-hmm.
by.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I forget, I can't remember now if ILM had a hand in that or not. I mean, I kind of want to say yes because there wasn't nearly as many companies that specialized in that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, that is as good as Jennifer Connelly is and David Bowie. The thing
Mm-hmm.
that brings this movie to life are all the puppets and the Muppets
Yes.
throughout this movie. The movie isn't anything without all those little things.
Yeah.
Because
It's
each one of
true.
them are great.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's a pretty dark movie, at least for my part. I think I don't know if I would if I would recommend this for like little girls or small children because the puppets they're not pretty, especially Hoggle. I mean, Hoggle is like, you know, he's like ooh creepy, you know. Unless you're used to that stuff, I don't think it's a movie that. Well, it could bring well nowadays anything brings nightmares, right? And anybody can be sued, you know, for child abuse just because you say that he is a boy or she is a girl, almost like that, you know. But apart from that, I don't know. It's just that I have mixed feelings about it. I would definitely give it to like a teenager. I would definitely recommend it for adults if you're into that stuff because I know people who just cannot stand puppets and they cannot stand fantasy at all. I mean, at all, nothing. I'm like, oh, you're boring, but okay, yeah. So I do kind of have mixed feelings about if I recommend this movie um, to children or not.
I'm different than Maria because I saw this. I was probably, if I had to guess, I was 5 or 6 when I saw it, and it was not a scary movie to me. And nor did it ever feel like a dark movie. And the other night, yeah, I want to say Saturday night, I think we watched it. My son, who's 7, he loved it. He wasn't scared of it. He wasn't like it was a dark movie. He thought it was great. He was kind of like me. Um, and just to even give you an example, I think too, just for some kids, what's scary to them is not, to others, it's subjective. Um,
Mhm.
Before tonight, me and him were watching Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, and he is utterly terrified of Large Marge, which I think Large Marge is funny. He's terrified of it.
I guess
So,
I guess I have to
again,
say that I guess I have to say that I was terribly scared of gremlins, and I still do. I still am. I still have like this rejection against gremlins. I do not like them. I have to admit that yes, children can handle darkness if told well. This is one of the movies
yeah,
that I think um, can be done is done well.
yeah,
But I guess I have like this this kind of childhood fear of gremlins and these puppets. Even though I like them, they kind of give me that feeling. So,
and my son loves Gremlins too. He's actually got a little Spike figurine in his room, and he's got a couple of gizmos. The first time we watched it though, and we popped it in, we settled in. He's like, "So what's this movie called again? The Germans?" Like the Gremlins.
okay. So, um, so I think like moving on to the plot, I think the idea behind it is we were talking about this with Rick, moving from childhood to adulthood and her quest to do that and how she does that. No, I personally, I can't take away the cast, like the acting from the plot. In this case, even though Jennifer, no, what was her name? Jennifer Connelly.
She's Sarah in the movie.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about like more like
I get
Sarah. Okay, Sarah. Yes, at the beginning of the movie, she is very naive. she she how can I say this?
She's kind of at that point where she's torn between she wants to be a kid still, but she's kind of forced to have to grow up a little bit. I mean, that's
yes.
It's kind of that kind of step from adolescence to beginning to be, teenager or young adult, however you want to call it.
Yeah. Oh, good night, Dunedian. We'll see you tomorrow on Twitter. We're always interacting.
Good night. Thank you for being here.
And Lisa said, my daughter asked her to turn off Gremlins when she was 9, but she begs to watch The Conjuring.
I think The Conjuring would scare me.
Ouch. I don't know. I know one horror movie that scared the bejesus out of me. I mean, I was so sorry, my language. It just scared me so much. It was the Blair Witch Project, and it still scares me.
The story leading up to it, all of the advertising was far more scary to me than that movie.
Oh man, no.
See, the first scary movie I ever watched was Jaws, and I even told this story. It was in the chat on Inside the Booth, but after I watched Jaws, I watched that at too young of an age, and I was terrified of water. And still am. I was terrified to go to the bathroom because I thought a shark would swim up the toilet and bite my butt off. So,
ouch. Well, anyway, back to the movie. So yeah, the concept is like that. She moves from childhood to adulthood, and she's like into cosplay, and she has all these toys, and what was really fun, I didn't remember this. Well, I didn't remember a lot of things, but what was really interesting was that she starts off the movie how she ends it. Like at the beginning of the movie, she acts out as if she was going to the Goblin City to collect the child that the Goblin King had taken. And she's in distress, and then she runs home. She gets she has a problem with her stepmom. Yeah, and then afterwards, when you go into her room, Jim Henson plays with all the stuff that's in there. And if you really have an eye for things, you can observe, and you can start like finding like little Easter eggs. Like he tells the movie basically in her room, like all the toys, which is, I mean, that's brilliant storytelling.
Yeah, you see, I was gonna say you see Ludo, you see Sir Didymus, Hoggle, you see the Labyrinth. I want to say there's a castle, there's a figure that looks like Jareth. And then even too, you don't get to see them close up, but there are clippings of her actual mom that tell that she was an actress, and there's actually, it shows her with David Bowie, who, I don't think he's David Bowie, but just he was like an actor that she probably worked with. And it's funny too, because as a kid, I never picked up on any of that. I mean, for as much as we watched it, like I never paid any attention to any of that. And watching it again, it was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's the whole movie right there.
It is. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. That's brilliant storytelling. I mean, and only the people like who are really who really know how to appreciate a movie can capture that things. And maybe and adults, definitely a mature mind can capture that, because as a kid you don't see that. You know? You just want to see like the action, but you don't focus on the details. And Jim Henson has a million details just in her room, and that makes you kind of think that when she starts telling the story to her little brother who was crying, I would kick that baby. He was crying for no reason. Okay.
I thought she was going to shake the kid to death for a moment. I felt bad there.
I felt
shake him. I hate you.
I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, quiet down. Nobody's doing anything to you. But anyway, right. So the child is like wailing and wailing, screeching, and she starts telling the story. Like, once upon a time there was a maid, and she was telling her story at the beginning, and then accidentally, supposedly, she starts telling the true story. The Goblin King had fallen in love with her and had given her powers to call on the goblins. So that kind of also made me think in the story-wise, like the Goblin King did fall in love with her, so she didn't know it. You know?
Yeah. Well, there's even a moment where he does. He says, "Everything I did it for you." So
amazing. Yeah. So anyway, it's not a movie based on a book. It's completely
based on a book in the movie, though.
Yes, but the book is in the movie, which is something that was fun. That was cool. I was going to say something else, but I don't remember. Anyway, okay, so I'll probably remember it afterwards. Filming, I'm not sure where it had taken place.
It was filmed in the UK.
Okay.
Other than, I think the opening scene was filmed somewhere in the U.S. I forgot to look at that, just because there's like a U.S. post office box as she's going through the town and everything, and then I even want to say a fair amount of the cars that you see are clearly American cars, but everything that's when they're filming, definitely what's on like a set inside the house is a set. When they're at the Goblin Kingdom, the Labyrinth, it's all set. That is all in the UK. And actually, while they were filming that, I want to say, I think it's Pinewood, because that's the big studio in the UK. They were filming Legend right next door, Ridley Scott's Legend. And kind of little trivia behind that, Brian Henson, who does the voice of Hoggle in the movie, is currently married to Mia Sara, who was in Legend, and that's how he met her. But they didn't get married till later in life. And he, that's another like surprising thing too. Just he was 22 when he worked on this movie. How young he was.
And he did the voice of Hoggle.
Yeah, he was Hoggle. In fact, now he's the voice, but Hoggle is this. It was his core face. It was based off of his face, and then they built upon the grotesque features of him. And not only that, he was, and then physically he was performed by another person, Sherry Weiser, who's wearing the suit, but also too just that mask. Just the animatronics, how well it works. And I had read it. I don't think I have it in my notes, but I want to say it was 4 or 6 puppeteers. Working that. Yeah, and just everybody has to work in sync, and everybody's doing one particular movement, and it just so impressive with how fluid it is. Not only that, but just technology-wise too. Because a lot of that stuff, what they use, like airplane, RC airplane controllers. And for almost 15 years, my family had a hobby shop. So I sold RC stuff, and that old stuff too was massive and clunky and loud. It's I don't know how they. I mean, even with how big his head was, like I still don't know how they fit all that in there. Plus battery packs and things like that. So it's just another practical effect that is just extremely impressive that I'm in awe of.
So, well, for those of you who don't know, Hoggle has two parts. The first part is actually the actress who is a dwarf, kind of like Willow and all them. And she puts on the suit, and then her hands are smaller, so they made bigger hands for her to manipulate in that sense. And then the second part is the puppet itself is just the head. So the eyes are controlled by one puppeteer. Another person controls the mouth and the eyebrows. So yeah, I would be like four people just for one character. So that is amazing. So in order to coordinate, the actress had to really work on like her lines and had to be really in sync with especially Brian Henson, who did the voice. So when he would say something to Sarah or to Jareth, she would have to move her head with the puppet on, because it was a puppet. With the puppet on, she had to move her head up, and the puppeteers would have to move the eyes up and the eyebrows and move the mouth. So a team of 5. There it is. So the puppet included 18 motors and a team of 5 people for just one character. So
that's wild. Not only that, but just even physically, her actions too, how expressive, and especially like when you first are introduced to him and he's trotting along and he's killing the fairies with the little gas gun, and then like he jumps and skips and everything. I mean, I can't imagine how heavy that head was for her to move as freely as she did.
Okay, so let's move on to characters. Oh, David Bowie. Oh my gosh. That's all I have to say. That's all. David Bowie. Back in the day. Anyway, but he was I think Sarah, I have a little problem with her. She's too the way she delivers her lines at the beginning, I can't connect with her. I don't know if it's too naive, too innocent, or a bit flat for my taste. But I mean, maybe they were looking for that. I don't know.
Well, she was 14 when she did this movie too, so.
Okay, I'll give her.
And this was. She had done a couple other things prior to this, but she didn't have a lot under her belt.
Okay. I did feel that, in her representation. I did feel it, especially at the beginning. Later on, she does mature her character, but yeah, at the beginning I felt like she lacks.
Well, I kind of feel like they were, they're trying to show that she is, kind of selfish. The world revolves around her. Very impulsive, but as you said, naive too. And she does become more natural as the movie progresses, and it's as she matures. Where again, it's that there's kind of that symbolism where you can tell she's wanting to stay young and she's having to grow up, and it's kind of coming to terms with that. It's okay for me to grow up. I can still be a kid at times.
Yeah. And well, the character of Jareth, I think, was spot on, brilliant.
Yeah, you can't really, I mean, for what the character is, because I was even thinking about that at that time, because I think they mentioned a few other people that they had considered. And
Yes.
I don't think really anybody else could have probably pulled it off like David Bowie. Maybe Prince would have been close to it in terms of if you ever watched him like in Purple Rain. He's not the greatest actor, but I'm just saying like he's better than like Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson would have been great for the singing, but the rest of the acting, like he just can't do it. And then the other person I want to say that was considered was Mick Jagger, and I don't think Mick Jagger could have done it either.
No.
So that yeah, I mean, for what the character is, David Bowie was perfect for it. And again, my favorite kind of moment with him is that dance magic scene with all the goblins. Like he looks like he's having so much fun doing that, and I was really shocked too, like because of how much he seemed to like liked working with all the goblins and the Muppets and the puppets. I'm shocked he never did the Muppet Show when it was on. I thought that was like so surprising because he seemed so natural in that and worked so well with everybody. I know you hate talking about remakes, but if they made this movie today, not a remake, you got the same story, but you had to have different people in it. But the only person who could be, I think, Jareth today, but I don't think he can. I don't know if he can sing. Would be Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Loki.
Yeah.
Loki's, he's charming. He can be flamboyant, but he plays too kind of like not necessarily a mean villain, but that's kind of what Jareth is kind of like Loki though. I mean, he's very much he likes a trick. He likes in fooling people into his own way, but not necessarily sinister.
I'm sorry, everybody, if you guys are watching it, but due to copyright issues, we're going to be talking over the scene. If you guys want to watch it, it's on YouTube, definitely. If not, you know what? Just watch the whole movie again, because yes, Dan, watch it. Yes. You watch that movie.
We watched this. We have HBO Max. It's on HBO Max right now. If you have that for streaming, you can watch it.
Yeah.
If not, I highly recommend you get the DVDs for it because it is such a good movie. And Dan better watch it.
Yeah, Dan, please do watch it. Okay, so I think you know what? It's just that if you look at him, David Bowie has this. Yes, he does have the trickster idea. Yeah, he's a trickster, but he also has this regal presence that makes him. That's why I think he makes him so perfect for this character. So, and in one of the clips, I'm gonna stop it right there because I don't want to be copyright striked so quickly. I'm just starting off my channel, and I don't want to lose it. It's so easy. If you look at that video, the part where she's working, she's dancing. Jim Henson says we're presenting her in her fantasy, But at that moment you don't know what's real and what's not. It's like so surreal, everything. And he explains that those people are goblins, or they're trying to fake goblins. With a Venetian style. So that's why the masks, that's why it's a little bit more grotesque, because it's an adult ambience where she doesn't really know if she should be there, but she wants to be there. And she's obviously very much attracted to the character of Jareth, who does have a very, very, he's very appealing, Yeah. And but at the same time she feels like a rejection, you know. So she kind of has mixed feelings about it. And for those of you who don't know, the choreographer of the whole scene, it was so amazing, was Dr. Crusher from Star Trek. I do not remember.
The Next Generation.
Yeah, The Next Generation. McFadden, her last
Will
name.
Wheaton's mom on that
Yeah.
show. For those of you who don't know what it is, but probably watch Big Bang Theory, that's who it was.
That's who it was. It was Dr. Crusher. Because I didn't know. I mean, she does have this like ballet stance when she's playing Dr. Crusher, but I didn't know that she was a choreographer, and she did the whole choreography with Jim Henson, and she explains beautifully what she wanted from this scene. So
Gates McFadden, that's who played Dr. Beverly Crusher. It was gonna bug me if we didn't say it, so I have to look it up real quick.
Yes, thank you. Dr. Beverly Crusher, McFadden, Mrs. McFadden, Miss McFadden, I don't really know. What was her name again?
Gates McFadden.
Gates
yeah,
McFadden.
Very unique name there.
So you can look at that over there. So if you want to add something else, if not, we can move on to screenplay and music.
Well, I was gonna say, I won't get too deep into it, but we brought up Hoggle. Ludo was done by two people, Ron Muick and Rob Mills. They switched on it. Ron Munich did the voice. And it's kind of surprised because one, that costume is huge, and I would have guessed it weighed more. I guess when they made it, it was 100 pounds, and they lightened it by 25 to 75, which I'm shocked that didn't weigh more than 75 pounds. Dave Goelz did the voice of Sir Didymus. Dave Goelz is actually Gonzo. And then there was another puppeteer who did him, but I think that there is a little bit of Gonzo in Sir Didymus too, the flamboyance, and that was my favorite character in the movie. I love him. Kind of too. You could you could maybe compare him a little bit today. He's a little Rocket Raccoon in terms of just little tiny ball of no fear, and doesn't care if he's outmatched.
I would compare him with the Narnia rat. I forgot his name. In Narnia, there's a character who's a rat. And he's just like that. Sir, I have a here, and I on guard. Something like that.
I like the part he gets surrounded, and he's like, very well, put your arms down. I'll see you treated fairly.
Yeah.
I love it. Toby was played by somebody named Toby Froud, and his dad is in special effects, and even himself today is in special effects. He actually apprenticed on the Lord of the Rings movies. Rapici. Yeah. That does sound familiar, but it's been. I've only seen. I never read the books. I've only seen the first Narnia movie. So.
Oh, Rick.
Well, we might have to review that then, if that's the case. So.
I think I'm going to put it on my list. Definitely.
I think you should. And then Sarah's father was played by Christopher Malcolm, who, if any of you remember, was Rogue 2 in The Empire Strikes Back. He is the pilot that finds Luke and Han when they're lost in the snow.
I found them. Repeat, I found them.
Found them. Exactly. That's who he is. And not only that, but Frank Oz, Kevin Clash. Kevin Clash is Elmo. He also was Splinter. Steve Whitmire, who I can't think of who Steve is Muppet-wise, all do performances in the movie for puppetry. And then Kenny Baker, who was R2D2, and Warwick Davis, who is Wicket, are also goblins. They're part of the Goblin Brigade too. And even I want to say they said Jim Henson did some puppetry for one of the goblins too, but I don't know which one in particular. But I just thought that was all cool because again, those are all, you know, they all had a big hand in our childhood. So I wanted to mention them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Frank Oz, I recognize Frank Oz, and then oh god, I lost his name again. Oh, anyway, yes. What I wanted to say is, I wanted to invite Jolly. I wanted to invite Jolly because Jolly has a SNO, is a Twitter account. Great character. He has his own live stream with his puppet Jolly. Such a laugh. But definitely, I say definitely for boys. Some of the stuff I can't hear.
Is that Snowdub?
Yeah, Snowdub. That's it. Yep.
Okay, that's Snowdub. All right.
Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
No, it's okay.
But anyway,
we all have our nicknames. So sometimes I don't know everybody by their actual name. I got to know them by their Twitter handle.
Yeah. So I mean, his love for puppetry is very much of Jim Henson. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm sorry. We gotta keep going because if we're not, we're gonna end up like Dan, 2 hours.
I know.
No. Anyway, well, let's go directly to screenplay and music. So, I think the screenplay is deep. It's profound. One of the things I forgot my notes. Not that I remember, I did get some notes. One of the dialogues was really interesting at the beginning. When she has this dialogue with Hoggle, he says, well, actually, do you know where the door is? And he says, yes, I do. And then she says, well, where is it? Where is what? The door. You know, oh, you're hopeless, something like that. And he's like, no, it's just you're not asking the right questions. So I'm like, boom. Yeah. Like sometimes we do not, we take things for granted. That's another thing that they said a lot in the movie. You know?
You know, a good comparison of this is you could almost kind of say it was like a Pixar movie before a Pixar movie were, right? For kids love them for the kid aspect, but there's like adult jokes in it. I mean, there's not necessarily adult jokes in this, but like you said, it's a much more profound movie as an adult to watch it. And the symbolism in it, and but for me, I didn't write any of them down, but I love so much of just the side characters of what they said, the puppeteers and quips that they would have. I love so much of that. I don't know how I was cracking up at it all.
Another thing that they say is that she one of the things she said, well, it's not fair. Typical answer of a teenager. It's never fair unless it's what they feel like it's fair. So Jareth actually challenges her and says, well, I want to know, what is your comparison for you to say it's not fair? And I'm like, oof, another one. He's like, yeah, we say it's not fair, but what is fair? You know, kind of makes you think. He's like, well, I can't answer that. And then she kind of lets on when she steals the things from Hoggle. He says, it's not fair. You know, no, it's not. But that's how it is. It's here. Life is not fair.
Yeah.
So that was a brilliant, also another brilliant sentence in the screenplay. So,
well, it's, you know, kind of thinking about it, when she's on Earth, or however you want to describe it, she's in the real world, she kind of wants to run away from everything. But in the Labyrinth, she kind of takes everything head on. But Hoggle, wants to run away from everything
Yeah. Until he changes.
until he changes.
Yeah. That's interesting.
He jumps on a giant mech and rips its head off.
Ah, that's some change. And then, well, when she confronts Jareth directly, she she kind of says, no, this is where I have to confront him alone and say, okay, I know you're here. And they say, well, what if you need us? Then I'll call. I know you're there. I know you support me. There are some things that I have to face alone in the world, in the real world. And that's when you say, okay, she's matured. She knows that she's backed up, but she also knows that there are things that other people cannot help her with. You know? Another brilliant part of the screenplay, which just brilliant.
Well, and that even comes back to at the end when she does come back to the real world. And so I do think the line of her dad going, "Are you home?" was really funny, because why wouldn't she be home? She's supposed to be watching her little brother. It's midnight. But she starts talking about missing everybody, her friends, and you see them in the mirror, and they're all like, "We're here if you need us," and you know, like that's like really touching. And she's like, "Well, you know," they're like, "We'll be here. Just let us know." And she's like, "Well, I do need you." And she's like, "Sometimes I just will always need you, and there won't be a reason." And they get, you know, Hoggle gets excited. He's like, "You do?" And then she turns around and everybody's there. And I love that moment too.
Yeah.
Which kind of almost it is. It's like having to grow up, but then it's okay to be a kid at times too. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in the movie. Definitely that you just don't pick up as a kid.
So, and yeah, I think that's it. Well, the music was completely done. All the songs were done by David Bowie.
If you are a Bowie fan, you will love this movie for the soundtrack.
Yeah. And
my only complaint is that there was not another upbeat song like Dance Magic, because everything else is a little ominous, I guess, is like the best way to describe the songs.
But we are in a surreal world.
Yeah, so, there's nothing wrong with them, but I guess again, I go back to, I love that song, I love that scene. I wish there was kind of another moment. It's just so impressive. Well, because I can see it right here. That scene had 48 Muppets, 52 puppeteers, and 8 people in goblin costumes for that scene to bring it all life. And there is so much going on. And it's not only that, there's a lot going on, and you can tell it's not a very big set.
No.
That room that they're in is not big at all. Though I do find it funny now watching it. I guess you don't really see that when you were watching things on a standard definition TV back in the late 80s and early 90s, but now when you watch a movie on an 82-inch TV in 4K, you can see that Toby is clearly a weighted doll that they're throwing in the air. That David Bowie's dancing around with. Because at first I was like, holy smokes, I forgot they just chuck him up there, and I'm like, oh, it's a doll.
Yes, exactly. All of a sudden, he just throws up a baby, and like, okay.
All dads do that with kids, by the way. It's like, ha, can I throw them up?
But that was it. It was really good. Yeah, and the music was just perfect. David Bowie. Well, if you like David Bowie, obviously you're gonna enjoy the soundtrack, just like Rick said. But and it is very fantasy type of of a movie. So
another cool fact to bring up too, and I had gotten this wrong when we talked about it like 2 weeks ago. The crystal ball, the juggling. So the choreographer of the film, another choreographer, it said,
Mm-hmm.
was an accomplished juggler. Now, I thought he was watching what was going on a camera. He wasn't.
He wasn't.
Essentially, when you would stick your hand, you have somebody put their arms behind your back and you stick your hands through their arms. That's what this person did, and juggled blindly those crystal balls, and they're not light. I mean, you know.
For those of you who don't know, by the way,
Yeah.
David Bowie did not learn how to juggle those crystal
No.
spheres.
He does, though. It is him when he's spinning the three of them in his hand. Even though those are pretty big, so I don't know if they had something set up where they were stuck together somehow where you could easily spin them, but it's pretty fluid. I like how we're talking about juggling balls. That looks great.
Yeah, no, it's... Anyway.
Phil's not in here to make a meme, is he?
No. Oh, Phil. We miss him. We miss Phil.
We do miss Phil.
Anyway, yeah, so, and it looks so normal that he grabs the spheres and he just juggles three of them. And like one of them, like one part where he's supposed to be, one of the spheres goes, and the crystal balls here, goes all the way up, and then he grabs it. They did that scene probably 10 times at least.
Yeah.
Because obviously he just let it go. I mean, he wasn't able to catch it. And David was just laughing. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry." And it was pretty frustrating for the guy,
yeah. Well, to get the momentum and then to teeter it back and forth between your hand that's wild. And again, to do it blindly on top of it is amazing.
So, yeah. I have a trivia for everybody down out in the chat. We have 7 people, because I have my monitor on. So we got 7 people out there watching us, maybe more. We don't know. I want to ask you, how many puppeteers were in the scene where Sarah falls down like a cave, and there's all these hands grabbing, How many
people are ready to guess. That part is creepy to me.
Oh, that part was so cool.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's also, too, it makes me think of that scene in Doctor Strange when there's hands coming out of his fingers. I don't know why. That's creepy. Lisa says 42.
42. Okay, we got one. Lisa, 42. Anybody else? Come on, out there. We love to interact also with the audience, whoever's watching us.
Come on, little Spider-Man. What do you think? I want to know what my son thinks.
That was, well, definitely your wife says that was creepy.
Yes.
That's a good. Avery says 40.
40.
How many puppeteers? Rayron
30.
says 30. The missus says 75.
75.
75.
Little Spider-Man. Okay. Well.
You were actually pretty close, Avery and Lisa. There were 50 puppeteers. 50 puppeteers, because they made 100 latex gloves for the puppeteers, and then Jim Henson thought of doing the hands as puppets. So it's not that I use my 2 hands and then I talk. No, actually it was one puppet. And for example, if I do this and then Rick puts his hand right where I have, that's it. You go up, something like that. And supposedly we're touching each other. We're touching our hands, and I would go up and down, and that's how they would make it. So it was one hand of one puppeteer, and then the other hand was the other puppeteer, and they would make the hands would go like this, and then you had the eyes, you had the nose,
Or you would have
something like
ones too that would do like a mouth or like a mustache. One had a mustache
Uh-huh.
where they had the two
One
hands
had a
like that.
mustache. Like the mustache was like this, and then the puppet would like this, something like that. And I'm going off like
Or they
it's
did like a
this.
nose where it was two hands together like that. I
Uh-huh.
thought that was neat.
So 50 puppeteers, good guess, 100 latex gloves with arthritis. They looked like that, so it was insane. Do you have any else? Do you have something else for us, Rick? I know you do.
Me, that is about it. Other than so George Lucas was, I want to say Lucasfilm was part of the production team, and George Lucas was just the executive producer, but he didn't do any interviews or promotion of it because he didn't want to steal anything from Jim Henson. Then again, in hindsight, maybe he should have. But
well, he was pretty big by then. Because,
I got another one too that's interesting. Maybe too. I can't think of the channel. Maybe this can this can be something that we can put up in the thing that we are going to announce later.
Oh, we were going. Yeah,
would be a good spot.
We're about to announce
but so one of the Hoggle puppets got lost on an airplane, and for a while it was undiscovered, and it turned up in a unclaimed baggage center.
Yeah.
And when they opened it, well, that puppet was made of latex foam. Latex foam, for those who don't know, does not last very long. So they opened it up, and there's this tiny person, grotesque person, that's deteriorating with the metal skeleton. And there is a video. I cannot think of the channel. I had sent it to Maria. That talks about this and shows it. It's pretty funny. The Unbaggage Claim Center actually has it on display now as like a little bit of a mascot, which I think is funny too. Oh yeah, if you got it.
Yeah, I got it. I got the picture.
It's yeah, it's on display at Scottsboro, Alabama.
That's it. That's what's left of Hoggle.
So imagine opening up a suitcase and finding that.
Oh man, that's like Chucky.
Yes.
That's like Chucky, man. Yes, Rayron. Rip.
Yes.
Rest
Rip
in peace,
indeed.
Rayron. Yes. So yeah, it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
I have another picture. If I can just, I'm going to pop it up. This was also, I think this one was like, they were like restoring it, because then there was.
Smells bad.
They were restoring it because that's another picture of it. Like it smells bad.
Yeah, I forgot about that picture. Oh man.
Yeah, that's how you find it. You open your luggage and you find this looking up at you. How would you feel, Dan? Looks gross and melted. Definitely. Yep. And Avery says it smells bad. I agree. So I think this is something that we could chat about on our thing that we're going to be mentioning in just a couple minutes.
Well, would you like the honors to tell what we created?
Oh, thank you. This is going to be so much fun. So, since we all love to chat and we all love to post and we all love to just hang out, Rick and I have started our own Discord server called After the Weekend.
Good.
And we each have a corner. I have the Geeky Crochet corner, and Rick has his own corner for anything like we want to discuss. I definitely have my arts already set up.
Yeah, we have our own little corners just for our other little side hobbies that we like. But it is going to be somewhere that we can talk about what we're going to be doing. for upcoming shows, potential guests. One neat thing that we can do in a Discord that we would like to try and plan for the future is even do a watch party
Yeah.
with everybody for maybe a film. That would be real fun, but we got to figure out a little bit more. And I think for now, we'll just kind of start it off slowly. So if anybody wants to join, you got to just create a Discord account. It's free, but message me, send a direct message to me or Maria, and we can send you a link. You can send it to me. That's fine. On Twitter or Getter if you're on there.
Either one.
And then maybe after a little bit of time, we'll post it a little bit more openly with everybody else on Twitter, just because we don't know what to expect with it and just managing it and everything. So just to see how it goes. The other thing too, we were talking, we'll run it for a week. It's technically my turn to pick, but I thought it would be fun to put up a poll for the next movie that we review. So a little bit later tonight, I'll put that up, and I don't know how long I can run it for.
You can run it for like 5 days.
Okay, yeah, if I can run it for a week, great. But I'll throw up 4 choices, and that will be the movie that we'll review for, it would be the 27th, September 27th.
Yes, September 27th is our next, after the weekend. So, Dreaming Tabitha.
Excited to do that. Oh,
that's okay.
Hey, Tabitha.
Hi, Tabitha. You missed it, but that's okay. Everything stays recorded.
You can watch the replay. And you can join our Discord.
Yeah, you can join our Discord. We have a new Discord.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And then I have one, I don't know if you've seen it, Rick, but I do have one special channel that's called Unpopular Opinions.
Oh, that's fine. And, I didn't see it yet. I don't think I went on it today at all to go look, but hey, I'm open for anything like that.
I guess
what is an unpopular opinion?
You haven't guessed it?
Ben Stiller?
Yes! I do not like Ben Stiller!
Should have known it.
No. You can post your unpopular opinions there. Like Dreaming Tabitha says, I watched to a certain point yesterday's Rumble about First Blood, and Dreaming Tabitha was like, okay, I'm probably going to be hated for what I'm going to say, but the plot, and I'm not going to say it. So that's an unpopular opinion, Dreaming Tabitha. You can definitely put it there, and you can rant, and you can say anything unpopular on that channel.
Well, we could actually even make that be just part of After the Weekend too.
Oh yeah.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Because I think we've all got them.
Yeah.
Maybe I might make a channel just dedicated to where Dan and Maria sit to get to 600. The race to 600.
Oh, you are so on. But Dreaming Tabitha is going to get there first. Go check out Dreaming Tabitha.
She's not in the race. It's between you and Dan.
How much? Okay, Dan, are you up for it? We are on it. I think I have like 214 followers.
214, and let's see here.
But Dan has a huge head start.
He did. Oh, you've got 215, and you do. As I'm looking at this, and Dan has 258. So.
Oh my gosh.
But you've gotten like 120 within the past month, so.
Okay.
Black Widow wasn't that bad of a film.
Unpopular opinion. Yes, Dreaming Tabitha. That is a unpopular opinion.
We said unpopular, not crazy ideas.
I support Dreaming Tabitha in this one.
No, that's fine. Well, come join the Discord.
Yeah.
Send me a direct message, and I'll send you the invite, and you can post that unpopular opinion there.
Yeah. And Lisa, we can chat about crochet stuff.
Yes,
Because I do have, well, Rick so nicely put nifty knitter.
the nifty knitter.
Yeah. I'm not a knitter. I'm a crocheter.
I know,
But that's okay.
but nifty knitter is so catchy.
I know. Hey, Rogue. What's up?
Hey,
Hi.
it's Rogue Disney.
Rogue Disney. Kudos to your memes.
Yes.
Kudos to your memes. They are so funny. Like for Friday night
And
nights.
I have to say, Rogue Disney would look pretty cool with a crocheted lizard monkey, space lizard monkey on his shoulder.
That'd be interesting. I have so
Yeah.
many. Not a knitter. Lisa, I love it. Not a knitter. Perfect. I love that. But, oh gosh, it's so true. I can assure you guys, if you guys teach your children how to knit or how to crochet, you are never going to have problems with drugs because they're going to spend all their money on yarn and crochets. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
My son wants to spend all his money on My Singing Monsters, so.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But when he gets to his teens, that's not going to be a problem.
Have him be a crocheter.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's it. Final thoughts, Rick, please?
Final thoughts are, if you haven't watched this movie, you need to watch it, Dan. And it's just wonderful. I think out of anything we've reviewed so far, I know this is only the third thing, but I was just so excited to talk about this. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I recommend it for your kids. I recommend it for the adults.
I recommend it for more. I mean, you can watch it with your kids. I think I do stand corrected. You can watch it with your kids, but I think you could. I think you should watch it with your teens, and definitely as an adult, rewatch it 1,000 times if necessary, and just enjoy David Bowie
And dance, magic dance.
and dance.
Now,
Well,
Dan has seen it, Tabitha. Dan doesn't like it.
Unpopular opinion. Dan.
Yes. Crazy idea.
Crazy idea. It's insane, but that's okay. Oh, you want to show them what you have in your hand there? We're gonna do a shout out, I think.
Oh yes. Shameless merchandise plug. Because we don't have any merchandise right now, other than you can hire Maria to crochet you something. But please visit our friends' store at InsideTheBoothTV.com and get some lovely merch like this mug. They have T-shirts, hoodies. Maria had just bought a hoodie for her friend, one of their limited edition ones.
Yeah, no, it's not for my friend. My friend's going to bring it back to me. It's for me.
Oh, okay. Oh.
It's mine.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes. It's just that my friend went to the States.
You're pulling one over on the man with the post office.
Exactly.
I got you. Well, that's even cooler. I just thought you bought it for your friend because you're like, well, I'll get him a gift and it's cheaper to have it sent from the States to somebody in the States.
No.
But I see what you did there. I got you. If Dan gets things in talls, I'll get something. But
and it's limited edition, the hoodies with the sketch guy. Go check all their.
It's got. If I'm not mistaken, it has Dan. It has Tabitha. It has Matthew, Tabitha. And it has Dan's make-believe brother from Canada, David.
And Tabitha, yes, flamethrower to be announced. Definitely going to have a
flamethrower. Yes.
Going to have it there. If it's not real, it's definitely going to go. Probably
we can also too give Tabitha, even though we don't have any of her stuff, a shameless plug too, because Tabitha has an Etsy store. You have an Etsy store.
I do.
Everybody should go visit it.
I only have 2 hands.
Tabitha's is all girly stuff, though. I don't know what I'll do with jewelry.
Wonderful. It's so wonderful, Tabitha. And she has this really cool mug that when you pour your morning coffee or your tea, it shows the image. That's so cool. Tabitha, if I had
I did not know.
Yeah. Rick, you gotta go check out her store, her girly stuff store. And
She does. She's got like girly pillows. Why don't you have a pillow that just says beer on it? I would have bought that.
And obviously, yes, Mr. T is totally girly. Yes, definitely. And she also has this beautiful print of our lovely Cara Dune. Our lovely Cara Dune. She has it in chibi mode. I'm sorry if that's how it's said. It's just that I'm into anime, and for me, it's like that's chibi mode.
Possibly
beautiful.
the future Mrs. Drunk 3PO.
Oh yes, maybe. We don't know.
We don't know.
Man, thank you for coming. We're just throwing out our last shout outs. And Rayron, of course.
Oh,
Wednesday, 8:00, Crochet, Collectibles, and Chatting, our new podcast. Please go visit us. I will be posting the link. If I have not posted, I think I did, in our Twitter account. I will do it on our Getter, even though, I mean, there are a lot of Chinese people following me on Getter. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but there's a lot of people. Like, I find Chief for short shit is following. I'm like, who the heck is this? I'm like, thank you, but I don't even know what your name says.
And Thursday night is
my storytelling podcast that I have every Thursday. You know what? I should invite everybody, like, just to come on and say, you know what are your impressions for the storytelling podcast? Because I'm really eager and to listen to you if you actually, how you feel it, how you enjoy it, if you enjoy it, if you don't enjoy it, why?
For a second, I thought you meant you should have everybody come on and voice a character in the story along with you.
That's difficult. That's kind of hard. I was actually managing. I was the founder of the storytelling club at the university that I work for now, and the improv club wanted to do storytelling and improv at the same time. And I'm like, that's hard. I mean, it's a good idea, but it does take away the magic of storytelling because it's your imagination. But, we never really got around to it. And then, lockdown came on. So.
Well, I was going to say, what I was thinking is everybody would just, would turn their camera off, but have like a picture of the character they were voicing. So it was their time to read. Well, you would see their little face.
That would be drama. That would be like theater, not really storytelling. Yeah. And just before we get off, Avery Cruz says, Inside the Booth gets a flamethrower, and After the Weekend gets an ice cream maker. Everybody agree? As long as it's chocolate chip or Rocky Road, I'm down.
That's fine. I can't eat ice cream, so more for Maria.
Oh. Okay. All for me. I love Rocky Road. So, yeah. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for coming. Again,
thank you. Yes. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to come join our Discord, please shoot me a message on Twitter.
Okay.
R to the Icky. Yep.
Okay. So, thank you so much for coming.
Everybody have a good night.
Rayron, I will see you on Wednesday. Okay?
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.